So next, what I'm going to do is to show you another option to be able to rig the prawn with the head moving away from the predator fish, because many of us may be familiar with the behavior of a prawn in a fish tank, as we often see prawns swimming in the tank as we go to seafood restaurants or seafood market. We can see the prawn swimming unnaturally in a fish tank. So it gives us the impression that that is the natural movement of the prawn, which is often not the natural movement. The natural movement of the shrimps, as has been studied by our D.O.A founder, is that they do make very slow crawls or walk along the bed of the floor of the sea or on the bed of the pond itself. So what we do is that if we have a pre-rigged shrimp, and if we do a slow retrieve, allowing it to crawl very slowly onto the floor of the lake or the pond that we are fishing, we are almost mimicking the natural movement of the prawn. But still, to satisfy some group of anglers who feel that it is important for us to make use of the front profile of the shrimp, which is quite beautiful, to have the head of the prawn facing the predator that is about to attack it. That will actually entice the predator to have a go at the shrimp itself. So what I'm going to do is to align this 5/0 worm hook. Alright, and we can actually choose to snip off the tail if we want to, just to give us a better cast. If not, then we can always do with the tail. Alright, and what we're going to do is just insert the worm hook right into the cavity of the prawn. Right, so we can almost align the exit point of the hook that is on the shoulder. So there we have it. It's to come out of the shoulder itself. So here you have a weakless rig. Alright, so if you want, you can still have a bit of the tip of the back of the prawn to cover it from getting hooked onto any weeds when you are fishing in heavily weeded areas. So you can see you ought to find the proper alignment of the shrimp. So that is why some of the anglers prefer to snip off the tail to give it a more natural flow or more natural retrieve. So same thing, you can still insert the rattle into the place, right? And if you so wish, you can continue to use one of our pinch weights and pinch it onto the worm hook itself, right? And what you have here is a weedless rigged shrimp, which will work very well in heavy weeded areas, right? So this pinch weight is very convenient. You can just pinch it on, and you can also unplug it as you move the weight up the hook. So very easy to use. There you have it. So what we have here is different ways of rigging the D.O.A shrimp. So I hope you will find success in using the D.O.A shrimps that you have bought from us. And what I want to say is that it is important to use it in the way that you feel very confident that you may get a strike. So okay, so either you use it in a jig head, which is not my favorite way of using. My favorite way of using the shrimp is still with the hook that is provided, because it gives us a very good hookup, and most of the time when we get a hookup through using this method, it doesn't have such a high incidence of a drop fish, because of the fact that when you get a hookup, what happens is that the shrimp hook, although it's tied to your fluorocarbon line or to your mono leader, the hook may occasionally slide out, all right, to remain intact on the fish. I will be able to show you some of the pictures that we have in the later part. But what happens is that the trace runs through the cavity of the prawn, but the hook is still very well attached to the mouth of the fish. And because of this weightless system, the fish finds it very difficult to shake it off. It's almost impossible for the hook to be shaken off from the fish that is being hooked up. So it is an advantage as you compare it to other forms of lure, where you often fear of fear of the fish shaking off the lure itself. So as long as there's no weight, it is fairly difficult for the fish to shake off the hook itself.